Welcome to Master Concepts in Chemistry. In this lesson, we'll learn how to calculate the number of electrons and neutrons in a negative ion. Okay. So first of all, what is the ion? So the ion is sulfur 2- with a mass number of 32. Okay. So we're given such a problem and we want to calculate the number of electrons and neutrons in it. So first of all, we have to know two things. We have to know the mass number, which is given to us, and we also have to know the atomic number. So let's go to the periodic table to identify our atomic number. So this is sulfur. So as you've seen, 16 is written on top of the chemical symbol of sulfur, S. So this means that the atomic number of sulfur is 16. So we write it. So here I would say mass number. Here I will say atomic number. And also do recall the atomic number is the same as what? Number of protons, or proton number. So number of protons. Okay. So we have about two numbers. The next thing then is to interpret what we have as a charge. So the whole of this, the 2- is the charge of our sulfur. Now, what is the size of the charge? The size of the charge is the number in front of the sign. So the sign is minus and there's a 2 in front of it. So the size of the charge is 2. Meaning sulfur has received 2 electrons. Remember, minus means receiving electrons. So the minus sign means receiving electrons. So how many electrons received? 2. Now, if it had been just the minus without any number, 1 would have been implied, meaning sulfur has received 1 electron. By this time we have 2-, so it means sulfur has received 2 electrons. Okay. So now with this information, we then proceed to calculate the number of protons, the number of electrons, and the number of neutrons. So the number of protons is 16. And since the number of protons is 16, it means that for a neutral sulfur, the number of electrons would also be what? 16. And since protons are not lost or gained in chemical reactions, that means that the number of protons would be the same as the atomic number as we read from the periodic table. So number of protons is going to be 16. Now, what is the number of electrons? So here, the number of electrons would change because we have a sign of 2-. Remember, minus means receiving electrons. So if sulfur had been neutral, that means that sulfur would have had 16 electrons as well. But in this sense, it's charged. And it's receiving 2 additional electrons. So it means that the total number of electrons will now be 16 electrons plus the 2 electrons received, which is equal to what? 18 electrons. So sulfur 2- now has 18 electrons. Now, what is the number of neutrons? The number of neutrons is just the difference between your mass number and your atomic number. So remember, we said mass number was equal to atomic number plus number of neutrons. So to find the number of neutrons, we'll subtract the atomic number from mass number. So A minus Z equals 2, which is just the difference between these two numbers. So meaning 32 minus 16 is equal to what? 16. So 16 is the number of neutrons.